Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything is booted on up. Give me a moment to activate the live chat windows. And looks like everything's good to go there. Give me a moment to check my other computer. Looks like everything's good to go there as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Got a text document. Howdy. First, this is important. Oh, first comment. Got it. I thought you were going to say something else afterwards, like important message. Huh. That map's interesting. But right now I'm just trying to eye for replays above 20 turns. Of course, if somebody has a replay they want to submit to me, I'm more than willing to do it. Because if somebody submits a replay into me, it's probably more likely to be good. My thought process is if the replay is above 20 turns, it's more likely to be good, since I just blind cast everything. But either way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn south side as Red Judy, got Ori 32. Spawn north side as the Blue Gray Field, which I believe this is the Cartridge Gray Field. Yes it is. We have Caparo. Cartridge Gray Field. Standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. Overall pretty standard here. Pretty general. All units get +10/+10. All naval units and seaplanes and battlecopters in CO zone get +10 to offense, +40 to defense. So he does not have the super buff superpower. Of course, the superpower does provide +10/+10 and cover fuel, ammo, and material. Naval units, seaplanes, and battlecopters, of course, get additional +10 to offense and +40% defense. Judy's, of course, a custom CO. Reduced boarding cost, 3 radius, no expansion, no energy. And provides all units +3% offense, 10% defense, and get 30% salvage. So, let's go and get started. This appears to be a 2-base map. I don't see a 3rd base or a factory along the sides to be captured. There are a number of seaports here. This one is landlocked, got bridge on beach, so only brown water ships can get through that. But this one has full access to the deep shores. Sort of makes me wonder why there's so many shore tiles here, but it's just probably meant for better traversement, and it's also slightly farther forward. And my apologies, I'm going to adjust my microphone a little bit. There we go. There's also a pair of comm tiles in the map, which there is temporary airports, temporary seaports, and a beach here next to the comm tower, so plenty of landable terrain. Both of these HQs are pretty close by each other. Wait. Okay, can't interrupt. I'm just wondering, like, wait a second. Please tell me that bikes out of can be interrupted, because it could have easily gone really bad there. Like, oh, can't interrupt it? I'm just gonna go for the HQ cap. Sorry, I just had to take a brief moment there. Because occasionally things like that happens, like, oh, wait, I forgot to put it to HQ. That's actually pretty far forward. It could be rushed down by a single bike. Judy has gone for an early tank. She's probably loaded herself up into it. Grayfield does not have to be loaded into a naval unit. He can also be loaded into a pretty good battlecopter. It would have Wayland level defenses and almost as the same offense. He also has a pretty big radius as well, so he can be provide a lot more coverage for a battlecopter spam, honestly. Wayland affects, of course, all air units, while Greyfield does affect battlecruisers as well as seaplanes. Seaplanes could be possible in this map, but aircraft carrier and seaplanes still pretty expensive. Honestly, aircraft carriers could get... I don't know how to balance it out. Seaplanes could be cheaper as well as the aircraft carrier. It's a very good concept, and he does load up the battlecopter with Greyfield himself, plus provide plus 40% offense, 7% defense after the CO benefits. And I do have a lander not pulling the field, as well as another tank infantry, or yeah, tank and infantry there. AT has been deployed up north, or northern direction. He's pushing forward the tanks. Have to be careful of the battlecopter. Looks like a tank anti-air and battlecopter. Oh wait, look closely here. I think it's a bit of a high, not high funds, but intermediately high funds. Which I think every property is providing, yeah, 20 properties, 3,000 income. So each property provides 1,500 income. I could probably do it like this way. Something I just now noticed there. It says 1,000. Pretty sure it's 1,500. Definitely not inspired by Lake Erie, Erie map or Erie Lake map. Oh, Erie Lake. I'm not familiar with all the maps, and some reason my mind autocorrected Lake Erie, which is one of the names of the Great Lakes here in the United States, which also technically counts as Canada as well, since it borders in between the two. Got a duster deployed up by Judy there. High funds usually means 2,000 income per property, but this is more intermediately high funds, so somewhat high funds. Greyfield has one bomber, and since there is extra income now, it means ships and other heavy assets can be deployed, so this can be very interesting very quickly. Duster to counter the duster, as well as provide some escort to the bomber. Battlecopter heading up north. It wasn't an Advanced Warfare Ruin as one of the trial maps. Got it. Good shot there and there. Does drop down the AT and infantry there. Mech, battlecopter, anti-air, and gunboat. There's a lot of hits there. I'm just fully capture that property. We'll be able to complete it. Infantry just chaining over here. There's a number of river tiles here, so this area has to be dropped off by lander or cross over the river. Got a rocket over here. Another tank. We've got a full fighter now floating field. Looks like designed for air superiority. Anti-overstrike, anti-air, and of course is on top of spawn cities, so it won't gain resupplies, but at least have extra defense there. Interrupt capture, now 3 capture points rather than and 2 health remaining, so good interrupt there. Battlecopter headed up north. Looks like Greyfield's doing an extra job down south of the infantry game. Rocket's somewhat vulnerable to the fighter. Then again, what does... Oh, we got a counter fighter there by Greyfield. Junior now has 46,000 income, or funds in the bank. 40,500 income versus 37,000, so it's getting pretty high valued. Got a tank. Rocket's straight forward. Bike pulls back. Does pull back the command tanks there. Battleship deployed down south. Battlecopter and bike, including a tank as well. And do have now a battleship put up by Greyfield. Both sides are just setting up quite a bit of force here. Blue's force seems a bit more impressive with bomber as opposed to rocket. Though Judy does have a couple, I don't know, they have the same amount of 8 years. Capture the temporary port. Both sides capture the compound in the center. Multiple strikes there by Judy. The radar station has 10 capture progress remaining. Tank gets on top of loading the lander. And looks like just got a bit of stalemate up here. Multiple gunboats here. Gunboats, of course, only have one ammo, so they don't last very long. You know they have 2 torpedo tubes. Now got a bomber deployed by Judy. Right now she has 240,000 fuel versus 215, so it's day-to-day difference. So they're pretty even at the moment. Though Greyfield's many good hits there with his own infantry. Greyfield feels like he's starting to win the south. They have equal income at the moment, and we've still got one property that's despicably neutral, looks like. Duster, gunboat, tank, and mech. Red's navy is a little bit weaker. Couple good kills there. Fighter heading to the center to engage the Duster, and fighter has escort of gunboats and does go for a submarine. If Greyfield paid close enough attention, he will see if monies will go down, but nothing gets put in the field. So Greyfield possibly is aware of it. He already has a cruiser in the field, which is good. And the cruiser sticking to the temporary seaport provides 1-star defense, as well as if he gets struck by something, at least get repaired on up, because he needs the counter unit. He's going for a healthy number of gunboats. And looks like his battlecraft is heading down south. Battleship knocks out one of the gunboats thanks to the boosted aura. It does block the blue water ship advancing over here thanks to being on top of the rough seas. Rough seas do provide 2 defense stars. And Greyfield's just charging with his navy. He has a significant gunboat force. And there is a lack of a cruiser to engage Greyfield's aircraft. Judy's going to have to send her fighter into this fighter. So, and then the bomber will probably be struck by the Duster if he sends the bomber in. If she sends the bomber to send a map. Rocket head towards down south to provide some bombardment. Fighter does strike fighter. Only gets 5 damage there. Gunboats are striking gunboats. Does go for a cruiser. Duster's brought down south for air superiority. Blue Duster would likely strike the fighter, and then Blue's fighter will take on the fighter. It's got infantry tank. And Duster. Gunboat does get shot down. Gunboat goes down. And Battlecraft does get the first strike in the battleship. And battleship will strike battleship with the aura boost. Gunboat or cruiser takes out. And the gunboat does discover the submarine. Looks like Greyfield took a massive lead in this little map, and not to mention he has almost superpower, though this, remember, is the unbuffed Greyfield. This is cartridge Greyfield. And got a rocket, battleship, mech, and T-copter. Gunboat does go down there. Fighter does go down there. A lot of rotation up north, trying to readjust everything. And gunboat, 8-tier, bomber, and infantry. Right now, Greyfield has a superpower, which could give him +10/+10 global. Not to mention all of his naval ships will be provided some massive benefits. But everything else will be just get minor buffs, so maybe worth it. It will only be sacking in turn of the battlecopter, which, like, I'd say pop the power, I'd say. Get +10% global. He has right now 276,000 versus 281, so the game can still go either way. And not to mention the bomber is on top of the HQ, so if the command tank goes down, the bomber could be HQ'd. But with the superpower, will mostly just provide +10% attack and defense global, which is not too significant still. And right now, his battlecopter is providing excellent buffs for everything. Does pop the power there. Lots of good hits there. Oh, good call. Restocking. I've got the resupply aspect. Good reminder. Not to mention, resupplying all the fuel in the air units up north is going to be important. But yeah, resupplying gunboats is actually quite important. My apologies. My allergies kicking in. Judy's turn. Right now it's 300,000 for 194. She's taking some hits, but may as well. The value of day-to-day income is in the 40,000, so not too far behind. Gets a lot of salvage there. The front lines collapse there. She's going to get a large amount of salvage. Not there. Nor there. Oh, there. Good strike from the Dusters. Took 6% damage there from that 1 HP sub. Fighter, battleship, tank. Some hits down over here. Strikes the mech. Does not finish off there. Yep. My allergy is kicking in, I think. Is also weak. I can't take off since I'm the alternate supervisor, and my supervisor is on vacation. Capturing the temporary seaport there, which can be nice for a bit of resupplying. Does take out some gunboats there. Good shot there. Good strike on the medium tanks. Fighter does take out the battlecopter. Fighter, tank, gunboat, mech. Some strikes down south. Ends her 270,000 versus 186, so G's falling pretty far behind. Her CO unit's no longer available up north, and she may and has not done the HQ to CO as well. She won't get any salvage next turn. Does CO the tank down south. Gonna be out of range of everything though. Greyfield's at 55 energy. Strikes the fighter there. 8-tier finish off bomber. Battlecopter strikes tank. Tank strikes tank. 8-tier gets knocked out. Leaving the bomber a bit free reign. There's a lot of temporary seaports on the map, so maybe not absolutely necessary. one thing I sort of think is, well, since the gunboat has like could be buffed and get 2 ammo, now got superpower there. Granted, when I say buff, I mean something for a advanced or Days of Ruin 2, which is probably never going to happen. Lots of good hits there. Bomber does get struck. Don't worry about that. Something on my side. ATR falls back. Tank fork is a good shot there. Duster will strike Duster. Bomber strike it. This is all from salvage, barring that strike there. Fighter does strike Duster. Good strike there. Judy does a decent amount of salvage that turn. Some gunboats go on down. Battleship strikes the battleship. A lot of mechs here, which fighting against number of infantry. The mechs overall are nice, but a little bit outvalued down south. Fighter, battleship, gunboat, infantry, and A tier. Looks like Judy's getting some great air superiority at the moment, though we do have some cruisers in range. Doesn't finish off Duster. Cruiser will strike the fighter there. And it looks like Judy sort of lost air superiority. Now there's a full fighter for blue. She does have 2 bombers, but they can be easy pickings for that fighter. Oh yeah. Lots of free ranks. Battleship gets struck by the boosted gunboat as well. Duster, mech, tank, gunboat. Good strike there, and there. Right now, Judy has 152,000. Greyfield got knocked down to 185. So it looks like Greyfield's about a full turn ahead, which is not too terrible. Definitely, Judy's definitely caught up a little bit. Wounded Duster takes out another bomber there. Good strike there. There's the battle copter. Battleship, battlecopter, infantry, bike, answer for 231. Fighter takes the battlecopter. Battleship strikes the rocket. Gunboat gets struck by the battleship, wounded battleship. Some of these aircraft can always fall back to the temporary airport as well. Decides to trap the fighter there and brings the ATR to destroy it, or at least pick it off. Battleship, artillery, gunboat, tank. And once again, the battleship gets struck, getting a lot of funds there. And he has enough for a superpower, so he can resupply the gunboats once again. Takes out all those units there. Greyfield's just doing X and C, and there's a big resupply. Tank will strike the ATR, which basically prevents the fighter from taking severe damage. Bomber gets struck there. Brings back the Duster to the temporary airport. Bomber, bike, gunboat. Good strike there. Get some damage on the fighter. Bombs the rocket, takes it out. Counterattacks the other tanks. Get some good hits. Once to capture that property. Judy still has higher base income. Not to mention salvage. Good battleship strikes there, but Greyfield's getting some excellent value from his gunboats with his superpower. Anti-air, submarine, gunboat, infantry, and another duster. Does take up the bomber there. Put some rounds in here, knocks it out as well. And the bridge is blocked, so tanks have trouble striking up north. Starting to strafe the command tank there. Battleships just strike the tank there. Gunboat blocks away, but at least can be fired upon from the harbor. Battleship getting knocked out by gunboats. Bike, tank. Duster, gunboat. Another battleship. Here. Another battlecopter. Greyfield's making good progress down south. Battleship knocks out that gunboat one hit thanks to his high efficiency. Battleship heading down, duster as well. Tank does strike tank. Fighter manages a good shot there on the battlecopter, but in range of the duster. Aircraft carrier, infantry, battlecopter, and infantry. So Greyfield may be eyeing for some seaplanes. Gunboat gets knocked out there. Battleship does strike battleship. Gunboat trying to spawn. Battleship, wounded battleship hits the cruiser. Battlecopter falls back to the temporary port. Meteor remains to take up the fighter. Good strike there onto the Meteor. Battleship, gunboat, Meteor, and infantry. Takes out the command tank. Bomber down south getting some good hits. No duster or anything in the region to stop it. And looks like Blue's going on to capture the HQ. It may actually get it. The Greyfield has another superpower. Does activate the superpower there. And there's a lot of stuff between it and the HQ. And I don't know if Red can actually breach it. He's down to 100,000 funds on the field either way versus 259. Another cruiser. We'll get a good strike there, taking out some of these units, but I don't think there's any way to strafe that bike, and that's going to be game. And that is game. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see, next up is this replay. Oh, got that error 12. You can see here. I've been getting a lot of error 12s lately. Give me a moment to reset all this. Okay, good. And here we go. Now it's actually loaded up here. Beforehand, that was all blank. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the bottom side is the dark gray Tabata. We got Evil on. Just on the north side is the yellow Davis. We got Mini Nini. Davis is of course technically a custom CO. He was not actually a CO in the cartridge. He was just a character that had a no CO effect with the no CO music. He has standard boarding cost, 1 radius, 25 energy for his first expansion, 60 energy for full expansion, and 60 energy for his maximum energy. Honk Mother is a borrowed trauma reference as well for that username. When it comes to his day-to-day, oh, thank you for the raid, Swede Co. Welcome to the stream. For the day-to-day, offer plus 10% offense and plus 10% defense, and all ground units get additional 30% defense. So similar to Brenner, more closer cartridge Brenner, but only fixing ground. And for superpower, it does apply plus 40%. Tabata is of course unchanged from the cartridge counterpart. Howdy. Has standard boarding cost, 0 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 60, plus 60, and of course get access to a meteor with all the potential targeting. By the way, this is not a Couple Heroes stream. It is, in fact, for Advance Wars. Infantry being employed down south. Davis's turn. There's a number of radar stations, which means nothing. There's no weather on this map, but does still provide 3 defense stars, as well as income. Paracom towers looks like a pretty safe capture for both sides. There is also a meteorites here, a bit covered in snow, but still breakable. If you look here, there's a number of wastelands here, really reducing mobility from this entrance here. These are sea tiles, so they're not traversable. Both players do start off a temporary or a carrier there in case both players want to plow. Actually, there's no airport on the map, so you only have access to seaplanes if you want aircraft. They're good, but expensive, and they don't have a great longevity. No idea what this game is. Days of Ruin, Advance Wars is the Game Boy Advance as was early into the DS game series. Turn-based strategy, some good old Game Boy RTS, now webified. Got a tank there, and now, ooh, oh yeah, the temporary seaport does allow for land traversement, so you can go down south. And Tabata does load herself into a tank, and that's going to be a monster to deal with. Tabata's command tank has, of course, additional plus 80 in total. You can see plus 90 from 1-star defense as well. And there's Davis's command tank. Tank infantry. Oh, get some good rest. Tabata does push her tank forward. Davis is focused on defense rather than offense, and Tabata's on top of a missile silo platform, so she has plus 100 defense there, which I think she takes like 50% less damage there. Does put a shot there, even trade, but is on top of his own property for a bit of repairs. But Tabata could retaliate for a bit of damage, to say the least. Oh, I've actually always been streaming, dual streaming. In fact, this entire time, I've been streaming to 4 to 5 locations. YouTube, Twitch, Rumble. I do Kick occasionally, but I've been only having spam bots there, as well as Twitter. Howdy. Tank. I just don't get much viewership, to say the least. Does get a good strike there, and Tupper's command tank does go down. Tupper could also load herself up into a seaplane. You have to get on top of the HQ for that. Be a bit off the beaten path, but it should be hyper lethal. Thank you. Davis right now has 6 energy, not too much at the moment. His radius is very small, so it's meant for a point defense aura. This infantry took a hit there. 2 capture progress remaining, so could be secured. Looks like it will be. Don't see a way to interrupt it. Davis has claimed his own comm tower. Tank infantry. Does get a strike there. Does do a bit of a merge there, not bad. Has 20,000 funds at that merge, so could go for something expensive. A seaplane would force an 8-year on the field, which will be immediate drain. He will probably have to go a rig for his own just to keep it resupplied. When it comes to the... I do like Days Ruin a little bit better, but they're both pretty good. When it comes to website-wise, it feels like Tiny Wars does a very good web interface. Far more stable, far more smooth. Don't have to rely on third-party plugins for a lot of aspects. I feel like overall Tiny Wars does the web version better. Good kills there. Picks off that one health machine there, interrupts the capture there. They both have 17,000 income, so there's still some despicable neutral properties in the middle of the map. And actually has built a seaplane. And going for a rig to keep it resupplied there. Top will need to go for anti-air. Yep, and Advanced Wars by Web, of course, has a lot of other custom army colors. And also complete designs. You, of course, got the penguins and now the monkeys. Mech there. Might as well push forward a mech with the rig. Not a bad idea. Seaplane heading down south the winter. No in here just yet, but she does go for her own seaplane there. Reloads herself on this tank here. And there's a line of tanks there. Davis has now 34 energy, so get +1 radius. Couple picks down there. And she goes for another seaplane. Remember as well, you have limited build materials, so you have a limited number of aircraft in this entire game. Which is sort of interesting. You have limited amount of build material, which means, like I said, you can only get 4 seaplanes this entire game, unless you are playing Greyfield. Infantry costing 1,500 is expensive. I think that's the only thing I dislike between the balance two. I do like the fact that medium tanks are 12,000, but also a bit more vulnerable. A lot of cost reductions to make the game, I think, a little bit more active. But I would say infantry costing 1,500 is probably the one negative side. I would say I don't think they should be costing 1,500. That's expensive. I do like the fact that medium tanks are strong, but at least they can be countered by tanks, though they're actually maybe a little bit too weak. I think they can stand to get a little bit of a defense buff if there's ever another Days Ruin game. Overall, I say Days Ruin did improve a lot of balancing from previous games. Seaplanes rotating around. Remember, seaplanes do not have much fuel. I do like Days Ruin definitely did Navy a whole lot better. And I still say that there's a bit more room for improvement. Just ideas. Such as the ability to have certain ships, like the same lander ships, gunboats, could probably go up rivers to do something fun. have like maybe add some more light ship classes, like say a monitor, things of that sort. I can see if there's any web-based browser ones. See if there's any multiplayer for that. Haven't really looked into it. Never played Wargrove, actually. Pulls back the seaplane to the aircraft carrier to get resupplied. 20 fuel's not a lot at all. Oh, what did she deploy? I think she went for another seaplane. Yep, there's another seaplane there. Went for double base skip. Williams trying to push way forward, charging his way forward. He will not be able to deploy his superpower this turn, but he will probably get charged up. Yep, charged up. Seaplane strikes seaplane. Nice pick there, but remember as well, Tabata has 2 seaplanes inside the aircraft carrier, and I think they're in range. Massive hits there. Tabata is at 12 energy. She just cannot get +1 CO zone. It feels like Welland's making a pretty good, strong showing this game. Another seaplane, infantry bike. Pulls back the rocket there, strikes the medium tank there. Tabata's tank does get a good strike there, but thanks to Davis's aura, doesn't get too much damage done. Seaplane does strike seaplane there. Remember, his aura only affects ground units. Plus the passive +10, of course. 125,000 for 159. It does pop a superpower, giving what, +40% defense global? All units rather than just ground as well. So this is +40% defense global, which is massive. And Tabata's starting to disintegrate here. Let's see. I am jolting down. What do you say about my team? I are advanced, their own version of Advanced Wars, make an announcement this month. I got ideas, but it's getting to the point where I'll probably have to create my own version, some sort of custom Advanced Wars. I think whoever owns the rights right now of Advanced Wars should just hire me, and I'll just tell them how to design a new game. Good strikes there. Medium tank infantry. Tabata is probably going to be knocked out relatively soon. Good strike there. Down to 9 fuel. Of course, there's a rig nearby. Good kills there. If you're, depending what type of Advanced Wars version you're talking about, I would say if you're trying to make it, say, which is hypothetical since I don't know anything, a mix of Days of Ruin and Advanced Wars by Web, you could make a selectable option if you want to load your COs onto the field or as a power bar based one, make it a type of different game modes, for example, just so that players can choose which version they prefer. By the way, this is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Seaplanes are very good in general, just the problem is, the biggest problem is supply. They have low fuel and even lower ammo. Let's see now. That one I was mostly wondering, oh, I see Davis and on map in Tabata. I was curious how that game would go, and it was pretty one-sided, honestly. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web, Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the right side as the red the Beast, we got me. Spawn on the left side as the blue Brenner, we got haha 1, 2, 3. Of course, the Beast is technically a custom CO in Tiny Wars. It's actually a CO. 50% boarding cost, 3 raiders, 30, 60, 60. All units get +10/+10 as a default. Specialty units, which includes infantry, mechs, bikes, recons, and flares, so the lighter weight units get additional +2% offense in the CO zone. And of course, at the end of their turn on an opponent property, any of these specialty units, you steal that turn's property's income the next turn and pay it forward immediately. He has both optional power or superpower, both cost the same energy, so choose one. Of course, this one provides +10/+10, special units get plus 20% offense, 2 movement, and 2 vision, so allows you to spot and raid, which is good. This is a fog war game, as well as, of course, make the ability to steal funds global. For the superpower, it's all about the raiding. You get the +10/+10, plus 20% offense, and all special units get the steal pay for triple income on any property, your own, neutral, and your opponent's. So you can end your turn on your own property to get 3 turns paid forward. Land your opponent's property, steal just 3 turns immediately and deny 3 turns of income, or just set them on a neutral property as you're capturing and get that money immediately. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Our steal would be loadable and big buff like +40, +40, plus vision, but guys, GG. Oh, so like a Supreme Commander effect. Sorry, that's the game I best think of. It will be free. So push your luck mechanism. Inside gets extra small units get a fit for guerrilla warfare. Not doing have the CO zone mechanism though. Don't like it unless the community suggests. Like I said, you could just have toggleable options like as like how do you want the game set up, that sort of thing. But the unit having say yourself the unit load on the field is actually not unheard of. Supreme Commander is the best thing I could think of about that. Granted, this is probably a turn-based strategy versus a real-time RTS, so 2 totally different genres. But it's also the whole concept here unit is always a little bit difficult to balance sometimes. Tank, and infantry. Couple more bikes in the field. I don't know why, this seems... Funds seem a little bit high. Is it some sort of like... Wait, is this high funds? I think this is high funds. I think the income's going up by 2,000. It feels like it's going self-spinning too quickly, and I don't see a whole lot of infantry. So it looks like we've got a high funds game. Okay. That changes the math quite a bit. Anti-tanks and artillery. There's a lot of good stuff on the weak side for them to prepare themselves. So I'm feeling anti-tanks and artillery and rockets can make their way down in these group of hiding spots here. But yeah, it is high funds. Okay, that changes up quite a bit of math. Medium tank, recon tank versus... Got a flare there. And this is, of course... oh, did I forget to mention Brenner? Brenner is the cartridge Brenner, so he's the not nerf Brenner. 50% boarding cost, 30, 60, 60. And all units got plus 10% offense, 30% defense. More of a summoner wars in this case. Got it. It's like both your HQ and your best unit. If you don't use it, might lose it. If you use theirs. But if you push too far ahead, the summoner, then you can lose a game. I can see that. Capture some properties. Gets a good strike there. And since this is a high funds game, Brenner's already at 34,000 income. Neither player has their airports captured. So overall, do have a rock and some tanks there. Rock on the strong side. Probably this will be a good tile for it, or when the city gets captured there as well. But right now, thinking on this forest tile will be good. I think a rocket too slow on the strong side. I think rockets are good and anti-tanks are good on the weak side. In this case, anti-tank could be quite nice around here. Does get trapped there and strikes the bike. Starting to capture the city there. Of course, is easy retaliation. Does get the bike there. Rocket tank. Rocket there. Does get trapped there. Do have an early war tank by the Beast. And I think as well, since his unit's all about specialty units, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Flares is one specialty unit, so maybe mass flares if you want to raid. Raiding flares, that's interesting. Tank, medium tank, medium tank. A lot of heavy assets there. High funds games change math differently by 2. Hence the term high funds. Flare does fire there, spots all that stuff there. Strikes the burner's tank there, however, it's on top of C, so we'll receive repairs there, but, or I should say the Beast. And burner's tank did push forward. Burner now has 32 energy. We got a medium tank enrage the burner's command tank. And the tank lurk in the background as well. We'll get a good strike there. Pulls back the tank there, but keeps enraging this tank there. Very good. Won't receive repairs though. Rocky gets a good strike there. Recons does go ahead and get a good strike there. Medium tanks push forward. It does surround the tank, at least from this side. Rocket, medium tank, medium tank. The Beast is going for a heavy number of medium tanks, while Brad is going for a very large number of rockets on the strong side, with a war tank in reserve. The war tank gets CO'd there, so that thing's going to be nearly bulletproof. Flare, recon, or bike and rocket. Tank will strike tank, and tank will strike tank. Oh, got a rig and double rocket there. High funds games. I'm not used to them. Lots of stuff got hit there. Sort of surprising the BC rockets rather than the 80 tanks. Against the Beast right now, a good wave of 8 tanks could be quite nice. Rocket, rocket. We got the rockets. Wait, wrong game. That's not Tib Wars. Flare does fire in the flare. War tank as well. The Beast have 25 energy right now. Lots of good hits there. Let's pick up the infantry unit there. Infantry, infantry double war tank. And he still is not captured the airport. One sort of forgot about it. Maybe the rig's going to try to push down there this turn. Brian finally captured up his airport. Which honestly, battle composite bombers seem like would be highly valuable by now. Medium tank does go down by pushing up north and south. Rocket, flare, war tank. The Beast has a rocket there, does get a good strike. You tank there in a pretty good position, help cover his command tank. Does get some shots there. Burner has 35 energy, so does the Beast has 32, so both have +1 CO zone. The artillery's in range and may try to... I think he may be able to double tap the command tank there. That's in range. Yep, looks like the command tank could be knocked out this turn. 50% damage. Yep, looks like command tank will be knocked out due to indirects. Quite important there. Somehow that property is still not captured somehow. That's the last despicable neutral property in the game. Right now the Beast has 48,000. Brenner should have 46 after that. War tank, rocket, bike, and full bomber. Does look at the flare. Hits the rocket with the medium tank, and as well as that artillery. Rocket, triple rockets. What is this game? I swear, I cannot get my mind grasp around these high funds game. Triple rockets is something you just don't see ever. Got a squadron of bombers going on, being built. Interior tank. The beast will probably need to go for a fighter, though he hasn't seen any air units himself, but he has not deployed anything there. Missiles could be quite nice. They're pretty good at shooting down civilian airliners, and hopefully other things such as bombers. And we do have a missile, as well as a rocket and war tank. Bombers not being too aggressive. Brenna does have his CO power available. Tank, and battlecopter. Rig charging forward, no temporary airport there, or resupplying. Though this flare needs some ammo soon, has one shot left. What is this? Is the Beast and Brenner trying to play Grit? How many rockets does the Beast have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rockets! I don't think even Grit builds that many rockets. Brenner still has a superpower, which could be used to replenish everything. Though it could also provide him global defense, which would be very nice if he's charging forward like this. Does pop it there. Not only get some repairs, but also get some global defense going. Bomber, tank. Good shots there, hitting a lot of those units. Maris with the global defense. Rockets do not get affected because they're not direct units, so they're just as vulnerable as normal. Speaking of which, maybe Brent built too many rockets since he's meant for direct units. Though the Beast also has come from units and not or his specialty units. The Beast almost has enough for a superpower or power. 55 energy, won't be deployed this turn since he is, of course, turn expended. Bomber, war tank, and rockets. Somehow the income's even higher, 52,000 versus 46. Does look at the war tank there. He does knowingly enter the range of a missile. That missile's out of range of all the air units as well. We'll check the missile there, get some good damage there. Missile is quite wounded now. We'll get up to 5 health next turn. The Beast's war tank will likely be knocked out this turn. Probably should focus down it first since he has. Should provide extra defense for everything that got struck there. Brennan has 273 versus 277. It says it's pretty even, though Brennan did pull a little ahead of his actual day-to-day deployment. The Beast loaded himself up into a missile. The missile knows where it is, because it knows where it isn't. Rockets firing away. He's got 46 energy from that. Holy crap. Flare's out of ammo. Got a full fighter there, but it's pretty far away. Go for double interior, that makes sense. The missiles on top of the city there is going to be harder to spot. As much before, and Brenner didn't go for many flares. Does not spawn in 8 years there. Takes the this units there. Let's see. I don't think anything is in range of this missile. Nope. We got multiple bombers down south for the Beast. Bomber, tank. Oh, he does activate his power, giving all of his specialty units the ability to see through hiding spots and +2 movement range. So infantry, what few specialty units he has on the field. I see an infantry, flare, and infantry there can now spot stuff, which is pretty useful since he does have a lot of missiles. Bombs away. Gets a lot of good kills there. Anti-air. Bomber, war tank. Instead of 100, 313. Burner starts for 217, so Burner's starting to fall behind. With the income so high, it could still go either way. I mentioned so much of the Beast's assets are very vulnerable rockets. Bomber. Does strike the bomber there. Tank, anti-air. Still pretty even. Ends of 254. B starts from 262. Anti-air will strike one of the bombers. A missile does take out one of the bombers. Finds Brenner's command tank there. Takes out a rocket there. Fighter does manage to get up north. Brenner has not deployed out any anti-air up north, so this fighter will have air superiority and can start taking out the bombers one at a time. So it looks like Brenner pulls back his sortie. And looks like nothing to stop the Beast sortie. A couple more tanks here help stabilize the northern flank. You know, this is supposed to be the strong side and he's losing. This is supposed to be the weak side and looks like he's winning. War tank, medium tank, bomber. Suppose the straw weak side does have the airport and high fun situation. You can pull out a lot of heavy assets from there. $13 injury right now for the Beast. The flare may be able to take out this tank there. Yeah, the tank should be able to go down if it goes into the his aura. And decides not to take out the tank there with the flare. Lots of good there on those war tanks. Rocket, mech, tank, and of course another bomber. Still nothing to stop the fighter up north. Bomber does take out those units there. Looks like these anti-airs are trying to keep his way forward. Does take out the anti-air there, giving the fighter free reign to advance forward. And the Beast is heading down south with rockets. Anti-tank forward, fully vetted. Another war tank. Another bomber. Tank bike. And the missiles heading down south as well. War tank. And it does strike this war tank multiple times. That fighter's gonna have a lot of work ahead of it. Running sorties push way forward. That's gonna take a bit of time to take them all off. He's probably gonna go for another anti-air or missile to help engage all those bombers. Takes out that rocket there. Right now the Brenner has 276 versus 303. Blair does spot a lot of stuff there. One health medium tank will spot the rocket and put the anti-tank in range of it. Does capture a central city as well. Fighter puts a good round into the bomber. Anti-air, anti-air. Bomber and medium tank. Looks like this bomber's gonna run low on fuel. Does strike the anti-air there. The 4 health anti-air, maybe I'll take out the 4 health bomber. Granted, will be up to 6 health, so should be able to. And full health anti-air can take out another bomber. Missiles too far down south to hit any of those bombers. So on top of the city, I'll also try to put on top of this city here. We'll provide some good coverage in the region. Bomber take out that unit there. War tank finish off that one unit. Takes the rocket there. Fighter will strike bomber. Takes out that bomber there. It does not push forward this anti-air to hit something. A couple more anti-airs here. The beast is trying to push forward down south. Rockets closing on in those bases. One is in range of a base now. War tank does occupy that base, and I think it's going to have to spend a turn trying to clean it up, of course. The rocket can't spend time there because he will take his own turn. Does get trapped there. Trying to engage all the anti-airs. Hits the fighter there. Oh, we also got a bit of raid there. You can see the first raid, see the no income sign. He did not get any income from that tile there. And it does scale based on the funding of the game. Does strike the rocket there, spots the anti-air. Takes the rocket. And looks like Red's going to be capturing the HQ now, and it's probably going to be game. And Blue decides to take time and resign because of that. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, if you need to use the restroom, please give me one moment. My apologies, I am back. Let's see now. That was interesting replay. I did not realize it's going to be high funds, so that was a treat. I did see good replays overall this week, it seems like, the past couple of days. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn north side as the red Wayland, we got GM667. Spawn south side as the blue Hawk, we got KDA Ari Waifu, I think? Let's see, kill, death, assist, Ari. That name sounds familiar, and Waifu. When it comes to COs, we do have Wayland, who's has been buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has a reduced boarding cost of 30 to radius 30, 60, 60. Has, of course, all units get +10 in offense, +10 defense, and of course, additionally, air units, all air units get +20% offense and 40% defense. So in total, they get +30, +50 defense, making them more or less the defensive air CO. All units get additional 10 +10, and all air units for superpower gets +20% offense, a staggering +300% defense, effectively reducing damage received by 75% if I'm not incorrect. Hawk is of course a custom CO in Days of Ruin. Standard boarding cost to radius, has 3 expansion zones, 30, 70, 120 for max MJ of 120. All units get +20% offense, +10% defense, which is a mix of all units get +10, +10 as a defense, and of course he gets his inherent +10% offense as his day-to-day benefits from the previous games. For 50 energy, you get Black Wave and making everything global. Do note as well, he does not match up 30, 70, 120. This only costs 50, while his superpower only costs 100 out of 120, so allows you to store up some extra charge there. And you get the Black Storm effect of the +2, -2. Either way, let's get started. Infantry. Couple infantry there. Of course, got a pair of airports in the corner. There's a 3 base map. There's a pair of shores here to allow you to traverse through that region. And honestly, Wayland's theme is one of the best themes in the entire game. You got the silly bit that was a prelude in some earlier missions, and then all of a sudden when you actually start fighting him, you get the evil soundtrack. I love Wayland's theme, it's pretty good. The Automata is pretty good as well. I think those are the best two, I would say. Also, most of the themes are pretty good. Yeah, I don't really see this any real bad theme, I would say. You got weaker ones, like, honestly the Beast theme is a little bit weaker. No CO to end technically Wayland's. It's also a little bit weaker, but that's fine. And Will's, I'll say his theme's a little bit weak. Brenner, maybe it's somewhere in between weak and good. But I wouldn't say anything's bad. Almost all the CO themes do stand out, even though they mostly all the same genre, barring Isabella and Forsyth. And I think Penny is somewhat mixed in that boat. Now, speaking about boats, boat players do also have a gunboat on top of their HQ, which does get plus 40% defense from the terrain. Both sides are kept with a comm tower before any significant engagement. Wayland does have a flare now deployed in the field. And Hawk has loaded himself up into a tank. Good shot there, and there. Blair does make its way to the forest. Anti-air, tank, infantry. Does a good shot there. Give him 5 energy. Tank, infantry. And try and flip that property. It can easily be interrupted, but have to... Actually, no, this one can interrupt it. Does have to sack that capture there. And we'll be able to double tap the infantry. Stops that capture there. Whalen right now has 20,000 income versus Hawk's 17, so he's doing much better income. He does delete the gunboat there. Maybe he's going to try to move something there. The battlecopter's not on top, so can't CO it. He also goes for a rig. He has one battlecopter, so he's probably going to try to deploy out a temporary airport somewhere. You could place down a temporary seaport here if you so choose, which is probably not really needed. Battlecopter there. Infantry, infantry, infantry. Does move the battlecopter on top of the HQ. Of course, it's not hidden there, so Hawk, if he has a unit that would be in vision range of it, will have vision range of it. Battlecopter, anti-air, artillery, and does go for base skip. Hawk right now is a 16 energy. There's going to be CO to Wayland's battlecopter here relatively soon. Hawk has not deployed out any appropriate anti-air at all. He has one battlecopter in the corner. He knows Wayland has an airport over in this corner. He needed the anti-air much sooner because he is fighting against Wayland in air CO. Granted, the defensive air CO, but still, that can cause some issues. Does get a little bit of energy there. Does get saved a little bit by Hawk CO zone. But he should be able to get some more energy. His aura is decently sized, and going for a temporary airport there, that's probably a good spot for one. If it's just something to just do at the end of turn action. Rocket infantry bike. He does go for a rocket there. That's interesting. Not that Side has any super powerful units in this area, but the battlecopter here will be shot down by this anti-air. Blair does have 1 ammo remaining, but will get resupplied. Hawk's now at 36 energy. Wayland's at 22. Now the battlecopter can push its way forward. Has to be careful of this anti-air though. Anti-air, tank, artillery. And does fully deploy out a temporary airport there. Gets a good strike there. You saw that unit. Battlecopter gets a booster strike there as well at 42 energy. The anti-air could do some significant damage on the one battlecopters, but should live thanks to Wayland's aura effect. Another battlecopter, tank, and base skip. Does strike the anti-air. Good shot there on Wayland's command copter. Does pop the black wave. Now Wayland's command copter's at 9 health. Doing 1 damage global. Of course, Wayland can merge there, but if he has enough energy, 15 energy, he can get his superpower this turn. If he so chooses. And putting around the anti-air wouldn't be too hard. Can't say plopping the superpower would be super great right now. Good damage there. It looks like he's not going to be on to pop a superpower this turn. 1 more energy and he got it. Repositioning a lot of stuff. He does see both anti-airs as well. But probably best to pull back his copter. Yep. It is out of range of everything, so it may have trouble pulling out its power next turn. All depends if something gets too far forward. Good picks there. Does get trapped there. Tank hits the anti-air and will gun that artillery there. Somehow doesn't get single point damage. I thought that 8 health. The infantry there would do at least 1% damage to an artillery and no defense stars. Got 81 health, so. Good strikes there. Will spot the artillery. So his bike or infantry would be hit. Quad the bike. Got a infantry here. And Wayland's command copter does get on temporary airport. Now he has a unit inside his aura, so you can get a good strike on that infantry there. Temporary airports do hide air units, so that battlecopter, even if it's in vision radius, it will be hidden. So Wayland can deploy out superpower next upcoming turn. Just need to make sure some anti-air gets hit. He has right now one battlecopter will really benefit from it. Nothing too significant though. Tank mech. Does pop it there for +10/+10 global primarily. And you can see this battlecopter here has an additional +315% defense. He doesn't have to worry about anti-airs too much. He will still take about 2 to 3 damage from them though. Will strikes Hawk's command tank there. Eyeing for a flip there. Battlecopter, tank, mech, infantry. If we take a quick look, here's a battlecopter. Here's a full health anti-air. 31 damage. And there's multiple anti-airs nearby, so that thing will take a pounding. Merge there. Had to be triple tapped in order to take off a super battlecopter there. And now there's multiple anti-air pushed forward, but I don't see anything to really retaliate upon them. Tank, anti-air, artillery, battlecopter. Hawk has enough for his power, and the tank's at full health. Rocket, good strike there. Wayland has 105 versus 118, so Hawk has a slight advantage, but nothing too significant, honestly. Right now, just see stuff lacking to engage the anti-airs. Hawk has gone for a good number of anti-airs now. Does strike the anti-air there. I think he should have struck the rugged tank right now because he just needs more. Yeah, going for a good number of tanks. Another anti-air down south or to the right. Does pop the power there. Doing 1 damage global. Very nice. Does protect the city from being captured. Right now, Hawk has 26,000. Wayland has 24. He does get that battlecopter there since it's on top of the forest. It did not get hidden. I don't worry about that. Rocket's down 2 ammo. Lucky's has a rig in the field for resupplying. Wayland does push forward with his command copter, charging forward with multiple units there, and Wayland's copter could be knocked out by this anti-air. At least there's 2 anti-airs nearby. Artillery push way forward. Tank, bike. Good strike there on that battlecopter. Anti-air, tank. Battlecopter. Does hit the capturing infantry squad. This has 4 capture progress remaining. Blair tank and base skip with a battlecopter. Hawker now is 144 versus 105 for Wayland, so Hawk's getting pretty good advantage at the moment. Strikes the rocket there a couple times. Hits the tank there. Wayland's command compass goes down, so he would have sealed that tank there. Mech medium tank flare. He's done very well, that's for sure. Tanks push way forward. Does get a good strike there and there. Anti-air strikes the infantry unit there. Mech does strike the tank. Tank, battlecopter, and double base skip. He has access to another power. I generally think Black Wave is better than Black Storm because you get double the effects of the global orb, and plus troops in offense global is very nice, even versus a Wayland battlecopter. Yeah, a lot of good hits there. Yeah, and right now it looks like Wayland's just starting to disintegrate. 55,000 field, 53,000 versus 140,000. Bomber, bike, infantry, base skip. Get some kills there. Wayland's at 18 energy, but doesn't have enough battle copters to really warrant it. Just get +10, +10 global. Battlecopter tank. And right now, Hawk is actually lacking infantry to capture the HQ. He has some bikes and infantry now. Does get some good hits there. Bike, medium tank, bike, and battlecopter. He does go and seal another battlecopter there, but I think he's just sort of playing out the game. I think he's already should know he's lost, but making some good kills there. He drops the captures there. Though, if he does reveal that tank, it will be in the range of a mech. So he gets a good strike there. Tank, tank, tank. Battlecopters push the way forward. Wonder, does the player not know that you can't put battlecopters in the hiding spots because they won't be hidden? Because you charge forward and put them in hiding spots which are not hidden. His phone has complete vision of them right now. Get some good hits there, and we'll knock it out. And Bike will start the HQ capture. We'll have it surrounded. Spots that tank there, so likely the game will end next turn. I don't see any way for him to interrupt the capture. If not, he'll learn the hard way. Quite possibly. I do like how Tiny works. You can simply click on any tile and get a bit more in-depth details to a lot of stuff. Like, Oh, and does go ahead and resign there. Sort of like how you can just click on the HQ here, see a lot of additional info there, like repairable units, all that sort. Tells you how much gets repaired, all that sort. Capture, defeat if captured, yes. I suppose if some custom maps you could make some random tile capture defeat. But either way, there's Android saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Nope, not F10. Wrong game. Oh, and F12, Air 12. Give me a moment to refresh the page. And I'm getting a next replay. Depending how long this next replay go, this may be my last replay tonight, maybe second to last. Yep. Another custom map, which includes some gunboats and precarious spots. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the right side as the green, what's the name of this one? Mira. We have Matemon. Spawn on the left side is the pinkish, magenta-ish Grat. We got large nuggets. I think there's a bit of a balance wave change. Mira has now 0 boarding costs, 6 radius. Has she always had a 0% boarding costs? Can't remember. Max energy of 45. I thought that was 50 beforehand as well. I think she got a little bit of a balance change, some buffs. She has no day-to-day benefits, so her 6 radius is only meant for CO power. Provide not even the bare minimum +10 for all units. And for superpower, all unloaded units get -1 health. So she has a cheap, spammable global damage with no benefits. So that's her gimmick. Just constantly generating power to do global damage. Grat is, of course, another custom CO. Standard boarding cost is 0 is 20, 50, 50. And all units get +10/+10. All units in our CO zone, including herself, who starts their turret in the CO zone, get +1 max range. With superpower, which only costs 50 energy, gets +2 max range. Grat's sort of interesting, the fact that she has a different design concept compared to Tabata. They're comparable where they have post-start of zero radius for their CO zone, but I have a strong belief that Grat should be loaded into an A tier immediately. She doesn't become dangerous, or even really dangerous, until she gets +1 CO zone, where she can start pushing other units to have that same effect. Because when she has that effect, then she can push a huge number of units into the +1 range. But until that point, she's actually just only okay. Wait. What? I know it's free, but still, is this some sort of bit of trolling, some BM right there? There has to be some sort of BM, right? And so, Grat can't one-shot units reliably, unlike Tabata, so even though she has a reduced energy cost for her first CO zone and superpower by 10, it's easier to charge up Tabata's CO zone than Grat. That's one reason why I think Grat should be loaded up an A tier immediately, because it can reliably one-shot infantry, and then at that point in time she only needs to one-shot 2 infantry units, and then she get her very powerful CO zone. And I think Mira is just doing a bit of BM. Because she just delete the unit there. This map is a 3 base map. Got a CD in the corner, which will require a T-copter. But one property is a bit expensive to plow T-copter, so you probably want to eye somewhere else to get another. Deletes the CO gunboat there. That gunboat still is somewhat important, just to hold the line there. But still, just got a little bit confused by that. And Grat has loaded no CO'd ATR. Wait a second. Yeah, there is an airport. I don't know why I just thought, like, is it an airport? It does go for multiple ATRs now. Does load up into a bike, it's cheap. But then again, loading up a CO unit is free. So she could load up any unit there, so she could go for something a bit more durable, but it is quite large, very, very large, 6 radius. So something mobile and put in the back line would be good, so you don't have to spend the turn of that expensive unit popping the power. But I'd say Recon and Flare could be another good choice. Recon has a bit more mobility, Flare has tracks, and has more also good visibility along the Recon. Of course, the bike can always capture sector as well, so there's arguments if I need them. Heard a lot of captures there. Grass at 14,000 income versus Mira's 12. Tank and double base skip. Could afford a bike or infantry unit. Not and, just or. It's sort of just as well, Grat rushed out double anti-air without loading up either one to a seal unit. She has 16,000 income right now. Or funds in the bank. He's got one infantry unit there. Gets a good shot there. Seals the tank. Infantry tank. And 4,500 funds in the bank, so could have put out this infantry last turn. Not sure what Grat is eyeing specifically. Battlecopter, mech, flare, infantry. Get some picks there. Mirror right now is at 10 energy. Tank, anti-air, infantry. Mir does push his way forward. That bike is exposed, but we'll get another 10 energy there. Another 7 there. Grat has most of her forces over here. She has basically lost everything in the left flank. Tank, bike, or not bike, recon. Couple quick picks there. Of course, got tank in this region. The anti-airs probably should have some cover from this tank here. I don't think it is enough cover to protect the anti-airs for that tank, so it's a good position here. You project the left or rightwards, protect both the anti-airs. As we take a look at this, you can see here, won't protect this anti-air if it strikes from here, but could be, don't know which one it will strike though. Flare does get a strike there, so the tank is in range. Now it's no longer, it's still in range. You can park yourself on the missile platform, take a shot there. Gunboat's running low on fuel. Mira's pretty close to a superpower. She could probably deploy one out next turn, depending on how close stuff are. Strike on that tank there. Everything needs to fall back out of this region. That just has to be aggressive. Merge there. Infantry, T-copter, artillery. Does strike the command tank there. Does get a connect there. Pops the power for +1 global damage. Tank, anti-air, and tank. There's the battlecopter there. Grot's tank needs to start falling back. Has 10 energy. Probably merge with this 9 health tank there. Get on top of the force, take a shot at the 1 health tank, then merge. Some good shots there. Does not merge there. Probably should have merged. She needs the health to keep it going. Mac does a good strike there. That was a good trap there. Now grass tank will go down. T-copter, medium tank, infantry. Good shot there. Flare, interior tank. Let's strike the infantry unit up there. Battlecopter, tank, bike, infantry. Try and capture this comm tower there. Captures up that city. See, there's another tank there. Good hits there. Mirror now's at 13 energy. Tank, infantry, bike. Let's strike the infantry unit there. Good strike onto the artillery, and this comm tower is going to have 3 capture progress remaining. Don't know if we can interrupt it with artillery and tank there, but even if it does, if infantry does, she'll be receiving a lot of retaliation from these mechs. Flare, mech, and battlecopter. T-cop heading up north. Down south. Yep, 1 damage, not enough to interrupt by far. Goes for another pair of artillery and infantry unit there. Now both compounds in the hands of Mira. Mira +10/+10 global. Activates another superpower. Ratwin is at 61,000 for 128. Looks like it's going heavily in favor of Mira at the moment. Rocket, recon, infantry. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, artillery. You think we'll get a good strike there. Flare does strike the infantry. Artillery goes down there. Mech is a good strike. Already at 30 energy. 37 energy. So same first command bite. So overall it's done a great job this game. It's pretty easy to keep that CO zone charged up, but it's such massive radius. Tank, anti-air tank. Anti-air tank. Infantry. Pops another superpower there. Grats command tank quick goes on down. HQ capture starting. 12 capture progress remaining, so it looks like no 2 more turns, and there's a big dog pile around it. Duster infantry, artillery, and mech. Good strike there. Artillery, anti-air, and base skip. Right now 70,000 versus 23,000. Gunboat does go down. Could try to just do a bit of joint capture there to make sure the capture progress goes a bit more smoothly. But I don't see any way Pink can stop it this turn. Tank, anti-air tank. Artillery and capture. This is Android saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. On to my last replay tonight. I can feel whatever bug I'm catching coming down with, getting a little bit stronger at the moment. Just going to squeeze out one more replay. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side as the Pink Penny, we got Inconspicuous. Spawn on the north side as the Green Calder, we got Yoshi Rider. Calder's course is reworked from the cartridge counterpart, has 50% boarding cost, 2 radius, 0 expansion, 0 energy, amplifies plus 25, and 2 health recovery every turn, does cost funding. Penny's been buffed from the cartridge counterpart, does have standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60, provides a nice modest plus 15 for all units, and of course can summon random weather every 3 turns. Let's go and get started. A lot of properties in this map. There's also a pair of comm towers in the corner here, which is pretty secureable for north and southwards, but it can still be easily contestable. infantry. With the amount of roads there, players with tall tend to go for bikes, but bikes can be a bit expensive right now. After all, in order to get out, infantry costs each one 1,500, so in order to get out a bike and 2 infantry units there, that would be 5,500, which Penny can do with this turn. But it does has goals for more infantry, so no bikes out in the field. She does save 2,000 funds, so maybe I'm for a tank next turn. And Calder in return goes for triple bike, so quite a bit of difference there. Penny has 11,000. Could go for a battle copter, or perhaps Dusters are 13,000, right? Yeah. So no battle Duster this turn. Does go for 1 infantry unit there. Think. Oh, double recon. Okay. A recon rush, or is it considered a rush if it's turn 7? Based on seeing how quickly or not quickly infantry are leaving the base, it is some of a rush. Calder loads himself into a bike there. More of an expendable bike, since he doesn't have to worry about keeping power charge up. He can have expendable CO units. And he himself goes for double recon and a bike there. Tank infantry. Tank infantry. You have a green infantry unit there, capturing up this city, which could be interrupted. Pink's starting to catch up to some of these cities here. This one could be interrupted, it all depends if it gets scouted out. It will not be interrupted this turn. And now finally comm tower gets captured. Usually not uncommon to see people rushing towards the comm towers, but it looks like another player rushed for comm towers this game. Anti-air, tank, and bike. Recon gets in comm tower, at least will prevent it from being captured. Does spawn infantry way off in the distance. Oh, gunboat gets the lead, so just plug on yourself there onto that tank there. Tank infantry in anti-air. Infantry. And lander, tank, and infantry. Does seal the tank there. Interrupts the capture there, of course, flipping the property. Battlecopter infantry flare. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, bike. Tank does get a good shot there, and hits the ATRs or the bike there. Interrupts the capture there as well. Right now, Penny's at 14 energy. Of course, Calder's units here nearby will get repaired on up. Did some good damage there. Infantry units trying to capture the Contar. He is down, but Penny is down by +5/+5. Tank, mech, tank. Units do go down. Penny's command tanks at 7 health, but has more tanks nearby to push forward with. Calder's at 26,000 income versus Penny's 21. She has a good number of properties being captured this turn. I see at least 4 or 5 properties, so she will pull ahead 27. So they're basically keeping even right now. Calder has 106,000 field versus 92, so he does have about a turn advantage. Good strike there. Tank, tank, tank. 22 energy at the moment. If Penny got 1 superpower gun, she can chain her effects of her weather, and Calder will have a significant amount of time, issues ahead of him. He has gotten a flare on the field, so he does have some counter if Penny pulls out rain, but he will definitely suffer when the sandstorm will come out. And this map is quite large, so snow would be particularly adverse as well. Some adverse weather, that's definitely for sure. Infantry nearby can interrupt that capture down south. Penny will get some significant amount of power charge, I would say, this turn. She can push forward, there's a lot of targets in front of her. I don't think she won't be able to get her superpower deploy her superpower next turn. But she may get fully charged. A lot of targets in front of her. Decides to push over the right rather than left, but does get a good hit there. +1 radius, allow her to get more shots and more power charge going. Takes out the ATR there, good strike there, and there. It just needs a little bit more energy, 58 out of 60. Calder could stop the weather by simply pulling out of her radius. She'll have to move to get more power charge going, but simply just pulling back prevents the superpower next turn, but may just all off the following. And puts the infantry unit right in the radius there, so we're going to see some stormy weather next turn. Or take your guess on what type of weather it could be. I'm guessing snow. That's my guess. You're guessing rain? Anybody guessing sandstorm? Any Darude sandstorm lovers? And snow. Now let's see if Calder was prepared for the winter, like Genghis Khan, or will he fail like Napoleon and Hitler? Take some hits there. And this, of course, where it comes to Penny. She can start chaining her superpowers together. Snow, of course, has the least effectiveness on combat, but just simply hurts mobility, which also affects combat. Having everything just get -1 movement range, it hurts. Regardless of whether Penny summons or Mr. Bear summons for Penny, it will hurt your opponent. All depends on the situation of what will hurt more. Tank infantry battle copter. And Penny's command tank is at full health. Decides to keep back a little bit. Not a bad idea. Flare has 1 ammo. She has a pretty good core of tanks down south, so she can just drive blitz to the center of the map. And the snow will make it difficult for her opponent to retreat. But right now, Calder does have more force in the field. 171 versus 167. I suppose only slight at this moment. Does go for a rocket. No. Rocket can be nice. Always situational though. Luckily it doesn't go through the snow. Calder's getting some good hits there. There's also a lot of targets there for Penny to get her next superpower. I swear, whenever I see Penny in the field, I just think how badly she's going to chain her weather. I swear, Penny's an A tier to S tier CO. It doesn't seem like much, but it hurts. Since no CO really has day-to-day benefits, barring Penny's make her units invulnerable, immune to weather effects. But the fact that she have a lingering of superpower is such a massive deal. Particularly for Sandstorm. I think Sandstorm is the worst weather to fight in. Having -3% firepower, that's effectively fighting against the superpower every single turn. And she has 6 energy now. She has her CO power ready to go. See, this is turn 3, right? One more turn of weather. And before his current is, yep, next turn Penny can summon some weather and keep the, well, fluctuations going. She has a good amount of infantry here, not pushing too far forward, and Calder's not pushing forward any forward there. Penny's pulled out a slight advantage at the moment, but the weather will continue giving her an advantage. Remember as well, Calder has these amounts of funds locked away in the lander. The lander is 10,000, so you got always minus 10,000 there. Though it does push forward units there, so not really minus 10,000. It's hard to calculate, honestly. I think the landers should cost less, closer to 7,000, honestly. I know they've been, in Days of Ruin, they've been constantly reducing the cost of a lot of naval units and make it more fun. Calder goes for a war tank. The weather does end, but I don't think it's a good idea to go for a war tank. Sandstorm. Minus 30% firepower percent global now. See this tank? Minus 25%. And the problem is, well, next turn Calder will also have to deal with plus 15% defense. Not to mention plus 50% offense. So this turn, Penny's vehicles are going to be near bulletproof. You have a missile here, ready to shoot down some civilian airliners. Tank, bike, or tank, mech, battlecopter, and tank. It's going to be hard for Calder to make some moves. He does, of course, has his aura effect right here. Over now has, yeah, it looks like they're pretty even at the moment, at least in value on the field. So this game could still go all the way, but it just feels like it's much better in Penny's favor. I don't know how to explain it. A lot of this course is locked up in a war tank slowly advancing forward. At least it doesn't have to go dry for the winter. And thanks to Sandstorm, it's already got past the spring mud, which is actually worse for vehicles. If winter historically is worse for infantry and other units, but then spring muds makes it worse for mechanized warfare and motorized warfare. Missile does get a couple good picks there on the battle copters. Penny's at 35 energy, already more than halfway to her next CO power. Tank, anti-air, gunboat, or another gunboat just entering there, infantry and duster. Duster is actually not really necessary at this moment, but can be quite nice. Besides some machine gun down the battlecopter. You saw that tank there. Double tank push down south. Meteor. Battlecopter tank. Missile gets a good hit there, and Rocket gets a good hit there. Already 52 energy. And she has enough for another superpower. It'll be blow it out next turn. Best keep the Sandstorm going. Sandstorm is such a good weather for Penny. I wonder what Mr. Barrel summon next turn. Penny's trying to crush through the flanks. Right now looks she's about 2 turns ahead right now. She's a pretty good core of tanks. Over the flanks over here, she has a pretty small force, but so does Calder. Calder does have flare, so at least he has some coverage in case of rain. But rain will be the good way to round out the weather. The opposite of a hat trick, I guess in this case, be a straight. There's strikes there. It's war tank still heading down south. Maybe it would have been a good idea to get that load up in the lander. If Penny got another penny for units smashed here, she'll have at least mother of all tea parties. Yeah. I wonder if you can make tea out of most plants. It seems like. What happens if Calder makes Penny some the creep plant as a form of tea for Penny? That would be horrible. That would be monstrous. And more Sandstorm. Calder's not going to have any firepower breaks here. Does interrupt its capture. Calder's trying to flip 2 properties here, but both of them... Actually, no. This one will not be interrupted. It will be healed to full. Next turn thanks to Calder Seal Unit, and Penny does not see the aura radius there. This one will, of course, have 11 capture particles remaining, and so we'll have 1. And we'll flip that property. Oh! Should not have done that. Should have captured the property. That was a misclick, I would say. War tank makes it over the left side. That's going to be very overkill right now. Calder's making some advances over here. There's quite a force. Penny will disintegrate from this. As artillery, war tank, anti-air. Only problem is, Penny has a good ambush of mechs there. Which is a new plural form of mechs. The ambush of mechs. Tank, anti-air, artillery, battlecopter. Good shot there. 211 versus 204, so Penny's about a turn and a half ahead. Of course, it's also her turn. Now that's interrupted and fully stopped there. Could have been fully flipped. Apparently I found out recently that you can actually make a tea that's very close to coffee from dandelion roots. But then again, you apparently can make tea out of most things. What flavor of water or root do you want to, today, effectively? Whatever grows in the garden could pretty much be grown into tea. Good, it's there. Mech, battlecopter, anti-air, tank. Does capture this property there. Had one capture progress remaining. We got 2 properties there. Capture progress 10, so it looks like that will be interrupted. War tank get a good strike there. Could be struck by the 7 health mech. This full health one's too far away. Maybe the battlecopter get a good strike there. Of course, the E-tier is no longer existing up here, so this battlecopter gets some good work done. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. And the battlecopter is rotating down south. Order has definitely gone for a healthy number of battlecopters. And he has 31 energy at the moment. If she gets enough for another superpower that could keep the weather going. Getting some good damage there. So that unit there could put a 5 health infantry shot into the artillery. Those are the war tank was successfully dealt with, just simply got overran, mostly thanks to cost-effective mechs. Just goes for a bit of a recon pass there. 47, this also 2, yeah, she's gonna get her superpower this turn. Just needs 1 more energy, and I see 2 healthy infantry nearby. Oh, does not go shot on them. Nothing in could see him pull out of the race. Does not have vision of the CO, which means doesn't have vision of the CO zone. Oh, we'll definitely have CO power because Codex gave it to her. Good shot there. Let's see what weather we get. Battlecopter, tank. I would say pop the superpower globally first. And got snow, so we do have a 2 pair of weather. No rain. Good shots there. Of course, Penny will have plus 15 global this turn. She has a very good amount of core tanks. Right now she's at course for day-to-day, effectively up to 260 versus 169. Does keep some money in the bank. Mech is a good strike there. Kicks the ETR as well. Hits the war tank. And Calder has now resigned his anger, saying, "Thank you for watching," and on next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight, so everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good rest. Enjoy.